Hello and welcome to the Wild Wild West podcast. My name is Richie Riche, and the sun is finally out here in Canada, as you can see by the glare on my screen. But don't worry, it'll get dark soon and I'll be crystal clear once again. I am from the MHRT network and I'm representing your Denver Broncos on the Wild Wild West podcast. Over here, directly to my right or left, depending on which way you are facing your screen, is DZ representing his Los Angeles Chargers. And down below, entering in stage right, coming onto screen in dramatic fashion, is Navman representing the Las Vegas Raiders. And we're going to get right into it. This is obviously the day before the draft, and we got a lot of stuff to cover. Today's show, we've kind of covered like both ends of just like a quick 5-round mock we did on a couple shows ago. We did a really cool concept of a show, which I really enjoyed last week, which is who do you not want to draft or who do you not think you should draft, and kind of gone the contrarian route, which I thought was super cool because I hadn't seen any other show do that. And then today is going to be a presentation of kind of like an idyllic 7-round mock from each of us with players and positions, etc. In right on time for the draft to come up so that we can then kind of see perhaps if we got a guy right, a guy wrong in the right spot, that sort of thing, which I think will be rather interesting. So to kick things off, let's throw it down to DZ or over to DZ. No offense, Nav. I think your first pick is going to be rather boring for the group, but we're gonna eventually get there anyway. Sorry, it just is what it is, man. So kick it over to DZ and get this party started.
Well, this draft is weird. Like I was saying before this show kicked off, unless you're a Raiders fan or I think Dolphins, because Dolphins look like they're rebuilding. They have a lot of draft capital, so they're kind of excited with the new regime coming in. This draft to me is like meat and potatoes, no appetizer, no dessert. It's a very like need starters, need rotational depth. Really not that many blue chip from the outsiders looking in, from what all the experts tell us. It looks like the draft kind of stops like in the first round at like maybe pick 15, 16, something like that. And then the second round begins. So like for when the Chargers pick at 22, it's essentially like the back half of that first round. And I view that back half of that first round and second round almost the same. Like the players, it's just like, who do you prefer? And there's rumors floating out everywhere like there's going to be a run on offensive line. I think that's the latest rumor right now, rightfully so. Offensive line is a huge need throughout the league, and I think there's a lot of really good offensive linemen in this draft. I think there's like Vega, right? Like he's probably the best O lineman in this whole draft, even though he's just a guard. There's other guys. There's tackles that are looking that can play two positions or that can convert to guard, because that's a big thing, from going from college to the NFL. But now looking at like my ideal draft is kind of tough, because it's like, what happens, right? Do you trade out of that 22nd pick and try to gain an extra pick or two? The Chargers only have 5 picks. Richie's Broncos traded away, if you guys remember, to get Waddle. I'm not sure how many picks they have. I think it's 5 as well, or 4. And I know that the Chargers GM is talking about they need more swings at bat, and rightfully so. I mean, because as us fans, we've looked at our team's past drafts and be like, wow, this guy didn't work. This guy didn't work. This guy's not here. You know what I mean? And like within a few years. So you really want 7?
Yeah, we've got 7 picks left.
So you just have a lot of late picks.
Yeah, we got 7 picks.
Okay,
yeah.
so you might have some capital.
2 in the 4th, and we also hold Mr. Irrelevant in the draft as well.
Okay, so you guys might have some like move up. So I was telling Richie this. I've got like some predictions for my teams, my comrades. I think Richie's Broncos, I think they try to trade a player. The Broncos are pretty set for the majority. I think they try to trade a player, and I think they try to trade Troy Franklin. I think he's your young guy that is him and Waddle. It's kind of redundant, and I think that the way that people are viewing wide receivers in the league right now and how expensive they are, I could see the Broncos trying to shop Troy Franklin during the draft and getting some pretty decent draft capital and maybe, getting a linebacker, getting a D tackle, one of these upper end D tackles. And then I also have the Raiders. They've got, I think, 10 picks. I think that they try to trade back into the first round and try to get Omar Cooper as their X to pair with, the inevitable, new quarterback for Las Vegas Raiders and Fernando Mendoza. So those are mine. We'll see if that happens. I think it'd be kind of cool. I like Omar Cooper. I think he's going to be a good guy. So I'm going to run down before my ideal. I have no clue what my team's going to do, but I have players that I'm like, all right. And then no specific order that if my team grabs, I would be stoked, because with only 5 picks, I'm kind of hoping they trade down. But D'Angelo Pons, cornerback out of Indiana, I love him. Gabe Yakus, the edge out of Illinois. He, to me, if we go for edge in say the second round or something, that's a guy I want. He's a war daddy. He's an ex-wrestler. The kid had a 65-pound growth spurt in one year. He's a 2-time high school state champ in both weight classes. That's a guy. Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. I could see what if he slides. Chris Johnson, the cornerback, SDSU. Gerard McCoy. So that's been a really hot name lately within my fan base, because he's been mocked by some of these top analyst guys, and he's coming off an ACL. He didn't play last season. If he didn't have the ACL, everybody's saying he'd be the number 1 cornerback. He'd be a top 10 to 5 pick. But then other rumors came out that his other knee, they're just rumors and nobody's confirming anything, that his other knee has something going on with it. But he's been mocked to the Chargers these last couple of days. And personally, I don't know. I'd have to trust the Charger scouts on that. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo. That's another guy. I could see him as a box safety in this league. Jacob Rodriguez, a linebacker out of Texas Tech. Just ex-quarterback. Just dude plays bigger than what he is. Stud. Eli Stowers, the tight end out of Vanderbilt, another ex-quarterback, another elite pass-catching option. Has to work on his pass blocking, but just a stud, man. And then let's see, got a couple other guys. Wrote them all down. Casey Concepcion, that's another guy that's been mocked to the Chargers a little bit. He's kind of like this gadget type, and with the addition of Mike McDaniel as the OC in LA, I could see them potentially looking at a wide receiver at pick 22 or whatever in that first round. We'll see, because they still haven't decided on Quentin Johnston's 5th year. I think a lot of fans were hoping that he would be traded, but apparently they didn't discuss that. They shut that down, that they believe in him. So we'll see. I mean, to be fair, with all the jokes with QJ, he has gotten better every year. We'll see.
Hey, DZ.
Yes, DZ. Sir. Rock and roll.
Ardell's asking you a question down there, though.
Shoot it. Pick it out. Shoot it. I think they're young and unproven, but Lad McConkey and Trey Harris, really love them. Trey Harris has shown that he's a willing blocker, and Trey Harris could be an X eventually. He's not the tallest guy, I also like KLS, Keandre Lambert-Smith. He had a down season last year. He's got wheels. He's a 4-3 guy. But look, we had Greg Roman running the offense. This is Mike McDaniel now. We'll see if Mike McDaniel can, unleash him.
It's going to be different.
And then you have QJ as well. Darius Davis, his partner from TCU as well. They drafted both those guys. We'll see. I like them, but these aren't recognizable names
yet
to the rest of the league.
Yet, exactly.
Especially because fantasy is really popular. We'll see. And
me and Richie feel the same way with that receiver group. I think that receiver group's pretty freaking going to be pretty freaking good.
I think there's still work to be done because they're missing a proven alpha wide X. And some people believe Ladd can do it. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Ladd is an awesome guy, an awesome receiver, but I think to be an alpha X, unless you're like Tyreek Hill with that those crazy wheels, you need to be like 6'2" to 6'4". You need to have that size, that jump ball ability on the outside. But that's just me. Let me get through some couple more names. Oscar Delp, tight end out of Georgia. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this guy. I think he's gonna be fantastic. Jimmy Rolder, another linebacker out of Michigan, another stud. Nobody's talked about this guy at all. I'm curious to see where he lands. Now, one of my personal favorite linemen, because I pretty much am just preparing myself that I'm not going to get Vega, the Penn State guard. I think he's going to go either pick 10 to the Giants or pick 14 to the Ravens. Right. I don't think he slides down. Now, there are some that think that he will slide for positional value. People don't value guards, but this guy he is blue chip as they come. And dude, I'm telling you guys, I don't care what D linemen's in this league. They do
Who
not
drafted a guard early?
Are you talking about? Well, I know. What are you talking about?
Wasn't it the Giants that drafted their blue chip guard in like the first round? Like,
there you go.
Like, what was it? It was like 4 or 5 drafts, 6 drafts ago. Like
this is a new regime though. So with John, but John's another guy who likes alignment. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're talking potato in terms of stylistic and appreciation. So
he's frightening, Richie. Like this is a dude that you do not want to see pulling on you. I don't give a crap what D end you are. Like this is a dude. But my second favorite, I know a lot of Charger fans love Bisontis. I'm a big Keelan Rutledge fan, the guard out of Georgia. This guy plays with some spice, dude. He wants to hit. He likes to do he's got a little extra going in him. And then Richie, you were talking about somebody, Caden McDonald, another one of my favorites in this draft, D tackle at Ohio State, just stud dog, right? Like he was linked to the Chargers a little bit like a couple weeks ago, but then we signed in free agency Dalvin Tomlinson. So I'm wondering if they would kind of snub their nose at that as a first round pick. Spencer Fano, offensive tackle out of Utah. Now, talk about versatility, guys. This guy can play all 5 positions on the O-line. He is going to be an absolute savior for whoever drafts him, because if you deal with any kind of injury or any kind of hiccup, he can slide in on a moment's notice and play your left guard to your right tackle to a backup center if you need be. Another stud. Jennings Dunker, the mullet dude, the barrel mullet, who played tackle at Iowa, but is slated to be a guard in the NFL. And then if you needed him to play tackle, a game or two, so be it. Now, there are some that say that it's just a shtick and he's not as good as yada, yada. I'm not buying it. I want the guy on my team. And then one other tight end nobody's really talking about is Sam Roush, tight end out of Stanford. I thought something blew because that was my headphones. But Sam Roush, I believe he's 6'6" or something like that.
He's
crazy.
6'5" and 260 pounds, and I have him being drafted by my team. Now let's move on, please.
So I just threw out I threw out like I don't know 20 names that. The reason I did that is I'm hoping if my team can come away with one or two of those guys in this draft, I'll be stoked. Now, I look at the Los Angeles Chargers like if they needed to play a game tomorrow, can they play a game? Yes. But you don't really have a starting left guard right now. That's a huge priority. You need a third rotational edge. That's a huge priority. We lost Odafe Owe to the Washington Commanders for $100 million. They holy hell overpaid. So good luck with that in DC. But now, Richie, if we go ideal draft, right? Like this could start so many ways, and we're not throwing trades involved, or
I haven't done any trades in mine. I'm assuming that I go right through the proper picks that we have. But I mean, if you did trades because that gets you what you want, so be it. I'm of the opinion that I think there's going to be so many people that are going to be trying to trade back that the value is not going to be there.
I agree.
That you're going to end up with a lot of people drafting where they are just to get the guy. And then I actually think that as a result of that kind of general mentality, that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, and that's cool too. But I actually think that as a result of that, you're going to have a lot of guys that are projected to drop that tend to stick roughly where you thought they were probably going to be drafted, just because you're not getting the movement that kind of like throws the linchpin or the grenade on the draft boards and stuff. So I think it'll be rather interesting to kind of see this year's draft. But I do think actually, and this I thought was fascinating, is I think you're going to have very little movement in those upper portions, the first and maybe the first round period. And then I think the top of the second is going to be a little bit difficult to trade down or back up into because I think people are going to be wanting more value. I think that what you're going to be getting that's going to be super interesting is the third to fifth rounds. I think it's just going to be just insanity. Because I think that that's where teams are going to be getting and targeting like those specific players that they believe can be immediate contributors this year, but were not deemed positional value, for example, in the first and second round. And they're going to be moving up to like snipe them at a specific position.
Yeah. I mean, look, I agree. There's some teams are kind of set up better than others, especially in this draft with capital and whatnot. I see like in the chat, like people are like, I would give up this many to just trade back up and get somebody else. And I mean, you guys could do that. The Raiders could possibly do that.
Geese just flew over. Holy shit.
Oh, I can hear them.
They honking like crazy, like Seahawks.
They're going south.
Can you kill them, please?
No, they have babies over here. Can't do that.
That's unfortunate.
I've done. Every time I do a draft, I always try to like change the consensus, right? You know what I mean? It's like Athletic or PFF or ESPN or whatever.
PFF, why do you even mess with that? Chris Collinsworth owns that.
Well, I just
really like that guy.
I think what? No, I don't know. God no. Call them for what though? What do you do with them? They taste like crap unless you cook them just right.
Like a Spotrac, that's way better.
Well, no, that I think the athletic is probably
the athletic and Spotrac is what I deal with. PFF is next level stupidity. That's how you draft Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah. Ryan Leaf or whatever, but
yeah, exactly.
I think like in the first round with whatever the Chargers do, like for my team, it's got to be a starter. Like they plug it, you like boom, you're drafted. All right, dude, Get ready in a few months. You're starting. And, like my ideal draft would be that if Vega Ione slid down to 22, I'm pushing my grandma over and running that card in to draft him.
Right.
That guy, that's my draft crush, but he's going to go to the Ravens or the Giants, and I'm going to be pissed about it. I don't remember, like, every draft, you start liking some guys and you watch your rivals or other teams draft them and you're like, motherfucker, like,
Well,
but so I'm thinking at the first it'd be Ione, Mesidor. Not a lot of teams would be high on Mesidor because of his age. He's 25.
Mesidor, let me tell you something. Teammate with Bane, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and guess who their coach is too?
And
Sean Taylor.
By the way, look at the stats between Bane and Mesidor. Mesidor is actually a little bit better.
Well, he is 25. I would hope he's a little bit better, but yeah.
What I'm saying is, at that position, though,
yeah,
that 25 is fine.
I don't think that every team, like for you, Nav, I don't think the Raiders would take Mesidor if they had the shot, because they'd be like, nope, this is not we're not. It's kind of stupid to say that, but they're looking at age. They're like, nah, dude, this guy's gonna be 30 or whatever by his next contract. But I think
okay. That's okay, because it'll be a rookie contract.
Sure, but okay. I'm just saying, like, there's some
Dude,
teams that are like,
this is the easiest thing for you to do. You pick him up at 25. You get him until he's 30. When he's in his year 28 season, you extend him on his rookie deal for another 2 to 3 years, and then you get rid of him when he's about 33 or so. That is like an ideal option. He's coming into the league more mature. He's already great at what he does, and he's an interior lineman. Like, I don't see the problem. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I don't either.
There's just a lot of there's a lot of old.
I love it.
There's a lot of old.
The
there's
team
a lot of old
options are
prospects.
amazing.
I mean,
this is what it comes down to. The thing about it
Robert says, "Oh, Robert Jansen, oh my God, poor baby, get a wheelchair, dude." Be a GM that deals with money. They don't mess around with this stuff, man. Like, there's another guy, Emmanuel Pregnon, who's like an elite guard. He's also 25, and that could just put pause. Some teams are just afraid of guys of that age being, drafting super high. Like Tuli Pilotu, our edge in LA, they drafted him. He was 20 years old when they drafted him. There's another guy. I think it's Falk. I don't know if it's Falk. Is it Falk? There's another edge in this draft that's super young. And
they're going to be younger because they don't have the COVID thing. They don't have the extra eligibility anymore. You know what I mean? So they're going to be younger now.
And then there's another guy at the first round, if he's there, it's Kenyon Sadiq. Like, how do you pass up on him?
Sadiq, if you need a tight end and you can get him, you better.
Yeah, but that's a guy that I see.
Most people just go to the gym.
Pause, as the kids would say. That's a guy, though, I'm like, you would definitely want, right? Like, on your team, like, with what's going on. But he's also a guy that I could see as a GM, like, say he's there, your phone's probably going to be ringing off the hook for people trying to jump up and grab him, right? Yeah. So I could see, like, some GMs be like, hey, we're pretty happy at tight end. Like, let's see what we can get for somebody to take our spot, and we can, get an extra third or, a fourth or something like that. So, yeah, that's a guy. But and then, like I said, the first guy, he's got to be a starter. He's got to be a plug-and-play starter right away. Right now, I said the Chargers could play a game, except for left guard. They really don't have a starter yet, and I think that's really important. But I don't think that necessarily has to be your first pick. There's guards that go probably to the fourth round. Bo Stevens, you can get a Bo Stevens or Farmer maybe. late day two, that are probably going to start for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But Ione would probably be my guy. Second round. You're going to have to, for me, I'm looking for an edge, right? So I'm going to go with like a Derek Moore if he's there, the Michigan edge. I don't have his size on Derek Moore. Defense, linebacker. He's not
like 6'3", 6'4", 2.
Yeah, he's
like
6'4", 255. So yeah, okay. Just about that. But he's a round 3 projection on this, huh?
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Gotta love
that. I think this I might have had it jacked up, but Kalen Rutledge would be another guy, the guard, or Georgia.
Yep.
And then cornerback. I think every draft, every team should try to go and get a cornerback. I think, especially this day and age in this league, there's so many different styles of defense. You need cornerbacks. They get hurt all the damn time. They get penalized. All kinds of stuff happens. Takario Davis out of Washington, cornerback. And then with only one last pick, I would like to get another defensive guy in there. And I really like, there's a couple guys I really like. Nadam Tucker, that was with our coordinator at Western Michigan. He's another old guy. He's like 25, going to be 26 when the league kicks off. He had like 10 years in freaking JUCO or something. But like I said, I don't care. We're trying to win now. We're not trying to win in a few years. We want to win now. So Dom Tucker in the 5th round, or a guy out of Navy, Landon Robertson, if he's there, that small D tackle. We've talked about him.
He's a small twitchy guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what his I
want to say he's like 250.
Yeah, he's not big at all. But people are like, this guy could be fun.
He plays above his weight in the interior, but he is still like 6'3" and like 250 or something.
Wow, he's so down there. I can't even see him on this thing anymore.
He was projected to be a 7th round draft pick when I saw him.
Yep. And then there's other ways I thought about this. Like, I really like, dude, to do an ideal, there's so many players I like in this draft. Like, I love the tight end out of Notre Dame, Eli Raridon. Like, stud.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Stud, dude. Like,
that's another Mike Mayer is what that is.
Yeah, just stud, man. And then what my team doesn't have right now, like technically they do, but not really, is a good backup center. And I'd love to, like, hey, with our last pick at 204, get Pat Coogan. Get Indiana's.
I don't know if you're going to get him there. To be honest with you, I'm looking at it more, and I think he's going to go in the 5th.
This is a 5th round pick. I'm saying my last pick.
I thought you were
saying.
I
see what you're saying. Wait, what number? What are you saying with him? Like around his number wise? Like, are you seeing him in like the 150 range or 200?
Yeah, 150 to 162, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, dude rolls up into the Raiders' hands. I mean, with Mendoza there, why wouldn't you?
Especially with you guys have a lot of capital. I mean, why not like get somebody with familiarity with Mendoza? But it's kind of hard to just be like, this is my ideal draft. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I know Richie probably did that. I love a lot of these guys. These are meat and potatoes. These are studs. These are rotational depth guys that are going to help your team, mid-season. They're going to help your team, in upcoming years. And there's a lot of solid guys in this draft. But as far as plug and play starters, I think that's where you got to be careful.
Yep.
With some of these players, it's like, Yeah, there is some guys who plug and play. I don't know high end wise, like Mesidor. Like my three guys outside of probably Sadiq, because Sadiq would be like, yeah, sure he could play, and he's a damn good blocker. But we have two other. We have a second year guy, and then we have the kid we got from Baltimore. Why is his name escaping me right now? Who I'm pretty high. Oh, Kohler, who I'm kind of excited about. But that's another team, low key. You know how I was saying that Iona Vega could go to Baltimore? They also could draft probably Sadiq, since they lost. I think since they lost some tight ends.
Well, they lost friggin' Likely. I mean, what in the hell were you thinking?
Yeah, so
They
they have
weren't.
an opportunity. Yeah, but they need O line so bad. I mean, they lost their center.
Ravens fired their coach, got rid of their All-Pro center, got rid of the next edition at tight end. Mark Andrews is like as old as a popcorn fart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I love Mark, but I love Andrews, but yeah, he's getting old, right?
So it's like, I mean, what are you guys doing? Same thing I was like screaming out with the Chiefs, but the Chiefs tend to do that.
It's a new regime. It's a new regime in Baltimore.
Like McDuffie and the other corner that they gave to the Rams, who are my Super Bowl favorites for next year because of that.
It's weird when you look at the NFC. Like, to me, the Rams stand out in the NFC, right? Like, but then when I look at the AFC as a whole, there's not one team that stands out that I'm like, oh shoot, they're gonna run a train on everybody. You know what I mean? Another thing where you going to pause.
The Rams are clearly the front runners in the NFC.
Right.
There's no question.
But then you look at Seattle. Like, Seattle lost some people and personnel after the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Super Bowl MVP was traded.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
Out loud.
I mean, I look at it and like, okay, you look at the Bears, the Eagles could probably bounce back. But then I look at the AFC as a whole, and you can name 10 teams. Broncos. Yes. It looks like the Patriots this year are going to have A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs. So they're upgrading their wide receiver duo. They're trying to trade Keyshawn Butte. They're trying to trade him, whatever. So he's going to have a better. Yeah, it's all, I guess, said and done. Like, after June 1st, they're getting A.J. Brown.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was Adam Schefter or something, per source kind of thing.
Wow.
Nothing's official yet because it's happening after June 1st.
It came from Rossini, right?
I work and miss that shit.
I knew there's gonna be a joke in there somewhere, right, Rich?
The source was Rossini, wasn't it?
Look, I'll tell you what, Diana Rossini, when she says shit, it typically happens.
People are digging up tweets from like 2020 when Vrabel was with the Titans.
Yeah.
And they're seeing some connections, and they're like, oh my God, like, how long has this shit been going on for? Which
probably longer than you think is the answer.
Right.
Probably longer than you think.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, anyways, it is what it is. So
the source was Wi-Fi Willie.
Yeah.
Where's Wi-Fi Willie been? I haven't seen his stuff. He used to be blowing up in the Raider Nation.
He's a freaking turd.
He was all over. I would see him all over stuff. I haven't seen him in a while. Him and his wife, right? Like, big time Raiders people.
He's a turd.
But I don't know. There's other guys I see. Peter Woods has been really popular, who I actually really like. D tackle out of Clemson. That's another guy. Now there's only one team that I've heard rumored that wants to trade up. That's Houston, and that came out like today. They're another. That's a scary team looking to. I think they're going to make a run, and they're not going to stress Tank Dale, I guess, to like be ready to rock and roll. But that's going to be a scary team this year. That for whatever freaking reason, man, their defense has been our kryptonite. But probably because we've had an O-line that work at FedEx every time we play them. So that's probably the reason behind that.
Ardell says Kennewood hit it. Love it.
With no hands too.
No, he beat both hands behind his head.
Man. But yeah, man, I mean, you guys can jump onto your guys' ideal. It's gonna be interesting to say the least what happens. To be honest with you guys, I kind of hope that when pick 22 comes around, which is not going to happen, but they don't draft in the first round altogether. That would be my dream, not to draft in this first round altogether, because there's no difference to me. Players at 22 to in the 30s and 40s, I think they're all the same, in my opinion.
Right.
But,
I mean, Richie, if you want me to go to next, mine will be really fast. It will not be 37 minutes of rhetoric like DZ.
Okay. Go for it.
drugs are legal in Canada, Robert. So, you know. Yeah.
So here's what I got. Let me grab my paper here. So
he said all the snow's gone. Bullshit. Not at Richie's house.
Pretty obvious that what's going to happen at number one is pretty obvious. In fact, I'm wearing IU quarter zip tomorrow to work with my Raiders hat. So just saying. Anyway. So
I like
anyway, so I think at 36, if McDonald's there, done deal.
God, that would be.
If he's not, I could see us possibly freaking moving away from it and getting more beyond. So let's just say that does happen. So that ideal draft, right? Mendoza, and then Caden McDonald, right? So then we go into 67. 67 would be Bud Clark, I think, at free safety. And then at wide receiver.
He's TCU, right, Neff? Bud Clark? TCU, Bud Clark?
Yes. And then after that would be the wide receiver, Elijah Surratt.
Dude, yeah. People are sleeping on him. They're not talking about him because of Cooper, I guess.
And then an offensive lineman, Blake Miller, could be next. Just for that. Because now we're talking about fourth round. We have 3 of those. And we probably get Kalen Black too. Another IU running back. Which also continues to bolster the communication stuff with Mendoza, right? So Surratt and Black both in the first 5 rounds. So then I start thinking about, okay, what can happen in the 4th? I mean, hell, can actually, in projection-wise, can actually get to another free safety out of LSU. So, I mean, and Jennings Dunker is projected to go in O-line in the 4th as well. So, as a guard. So, he could actually slip to the 4th. If he does, we have 3 of those. So our fourth and fifth round is going to be hugely important. So, if McDonald's not there, to be honest with you, I think McDonald's going to go in front of Peter Woods. And the thing about it is, if McDonald's not there, it would be Peter Woods. I mean, the dude's a freaking monster.
Like I said, like a lot of these players in this, there's going to be a massive group, Nav, where it's like each team, it's going to be like, just pick your flavor. Like what tastes better to you, essentially. You know what I mean? Like what star or what's crazy, weird trait do they have? Because these players are all essentially going to be the same. You know what I mean? So it's like Peter Woods or Caden McDonald, you know, you pick, you know what I mean? Like it's TJ Parker going to be there, an edge, you know, kind of guy too.
I want to answer this from Robert Jansen. He says, Surratt's not an X receiver. Do you trade Besh if you do that? No, you don't.
No.
The thing about it is, guys, everybody, I want everybody to understand something. Last year, we did not get to see anything from any of the rookies that we had last year. And other than a little sample size of stuff, there's nothing wrong with drafting a dude that's the same size. But I'm going to tell you what, Surratt is different. This dude is a blazing freaking dude. Besh is not that guy. Besh is your slot receiver. Think of him as Hunter Renfrow, just a little bit bigger. You know, he could be a tight end on some people's teams. You know, so, I mean, Surratt is a dude that he just catches everything that's thrown his direction. You know, he's great hands and he's fast. Besh is not necessarily fast. So I don't think it's a kind comparison between the two. The thing is, with Surratt, you have the connection that Mendoza and him have. And that's kind of why I said Kalon Black in the 5th. I'm pretty sure he will be there. And Kalon Black's a freaking beast at a running back. To have that combo in the backfield, and oh, by the way, Craig Ironhead Hayward's son is a fullback in the backfield as well, that they just got in free agency. So, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody has to take a little bit of a step back in Raider Nation because we don't know what we have yet. From last year, they never got an opportunity. Once we're freaking unable to make a playoff run, all these dudes should have been playing football. You know what I mean? And that's what irritates me. We didn't get enough good looks at Rodgers. We didn't get enough looks at Grant. And when we did, they actually looked pretty good. I'll tell you what, Lockie Tossie, if that dude learns how to play football, be careful. That's where the next Blindside movie comes from. I mean, this dude is an absolute monster. So I'm not really worried about the draft so much. You know, we know number one's going to go where it goes. And if it doesn't, I promise you, I'll be like, what just happened? You know, if they say something like the Raiders have traded the number one pick to the New York Jets or some shit like that, I'd be like, wow, what just happened? Tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, all I'm waiting for is that announcement, you know, and then probably going to go to bed, you know, but here's the thing for the Raider Nation. I just want to tell you guys and you guys both. So I probably won't be on here next Wednesday. So I'm in the process of buying a house here in Indiana, and I'm trying to sell my house in Tennessee. So the next time I'll be down in Tennessee is May 8th. I'll be there May 8th and I want to do a show, my last show in Tennessee, like my own personal one. So I want you guys to be there, and because that's going to be like the movers are coming and taking everything the next day. So I want to do that. I just wanted to throw that out there because I just wanted to tell everybody, hey, leaving Tennessee, so off we go. And I think we're buying a house here that's a brand new build, and nobody's sat on that shitter but me. When I buy that place, so
breaking the throne yourself.
Kind of a beautiful thing, right?
What time are you trying to do that?
I don't know. I'll keep you up to date. We're a few weeks away on that, but
I'll be on a jet plane on that day in the evening, so
maybe probably be 8-ish Eastern, more than likely.
Might be back by then. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to let you guys know. So it just drama, like left and right. New job. I'm staying at my buddy's place.
Wait, are you saying that you're not going to mix next week, that week's show too?
I don't know.
I'm okay. So might as well, if we're throwing our schedules out, because the week of the 3rd through 9th, I'm going to be on a boat in Mexico. So I'm probably
what the hell? They got good tacos on it, or what?
I'm gonna be fishing for fish tacos. Fishing.
Okay, so back to the scheduled programming, Richie.
Yeah, Richie.
That's cool. So, yeah, I had an interesting one here. So the Broncos have a weird draft just because we traded our 1st and 3rd. So you've kind of lost, like you're at a weird spot when all you have is that 2nd round, and then you don't have a 3rd round following it. So you have no backstop there. Right? You're in this really odd position in terms of where you are in the draft. Now, I operated as I kind of did this here, where I had to stay put. I couldn't trade up. I couldn't like rejig the draft or anything like that. So I kind of stayed where I was.
But you've said, Richie, right, for weeks, like, I get what you're saying, but you're saying like, hey, you think like they might want to part ways with maybe a defender or something to try to get some more picks.
I do believe that a guy like Stidham is on the trade block, specifically for a 3rd round pick. I believe that they're going to be trying to target like a 3rd round pick and maybe like a 4th round pick swap or something like that, or like a Stidham and maybe one of our 7ths, for example, for like a 3rd round pick or something like that. I could see that as a thing. I think there's going to be a handful of teams that are still quarterback needy that really need a more competent quarterback on their team. And I believe Stidham is looking for a true opportunity to try to prove himself again. And I think that there's probably a willingness to move on from him, given the fact that we basically re-signed both our 2nd and 3rd string quarterbacks this offseason, which kind of told me something. Where like we had Stidham under contract already, but then we actually solidified the 3rd string quarterback as a contract signing, which just seemed odd to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things that doesn't really add up. And so to me, I think that was a bit of a sign that we're willing to trade Stidham away for draft capital in the draft. And I think that you're going to have a bunch of teams that just didn't get their guy and need someone.
Real quick, Richie. You just reminded me of something. It's going to be really interesting from week 1 to watch certain teams to see what they do. And I'm saying that because of the quarterbacks coming up in the 27 draft, Arch Manning and other Smith, I think was the other guy's name. But like, do they just tank from the gate? Like, they're not trying to mess around. Because you met something with the quarterback, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe these guys just don't want to screw up their opportunity of probably landing the big fish.
I think you're going to have a couple teams, as an example, that are going to be in need of a quarterback this year, but have too good of a roster that they know they're not going to be in the top 5. And so I think there's about 3 or 4 of them that are kind of in a similar position where they're like, we got 2. Or, for example, the other thing is you have another team, for example, like New England or like a, I don't know, we'll say like the Rams or someone like that, who are true contenders this year. And if they lost their quarterback, that could potentially be completely detrimental to even them making it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so having a guy that they know that they could just say, we're good, makes all the difference in the world. And they'd be willing to basically just get rid of a pick and they don't care.
I was really surprised by my team re-signing Trey Lance. He was hot dog water last time he was out there.
Hey, Richie,
that's just,
I got a question for you. Who do you think's a better quarterback to have on your team? AOC or Jarrett Stidham?
Ooh, I know my answer.
Stidham.
That's my answer.
Why?
So my reasons are, I believe he's proven to be a solid guy on the field when he is there. He's proven to be a good locker room guy in the background. And he's also been proven to be willing to like work with and coach younger guys that are behind him. Not do so publicly per se, but if you actually look at the actions, like the true actions that like are on the sideline, Stidham is there with clipboard in hand, like literally pointing stuff out with Bo Nix and stuff like that in the sideline. So
why is that different than AOC?
I just think that Stidham is a bit more proven than the AOC in different regimes and moving around.
I'm not sure why you say that though. Stidham's been in the league how long?
I think since what, 19?
19, 20, somewhere in that range.
Okay, what's he won? Anything?
No, he's primarily been a backup, I think.
How many games has he won?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I never looked it up.
Every time AOC has actually had to been brought into the game, he ends up actually winning football games. So all I'm saying is this: when you look at AOC and everybody projects him as if you trade him, you're going to get a 6th rounder for him. But Stidham's been all over the damn league already.
Yeah, he was with the Raiders for a season or something.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And guess what? AOC like kicked him to the curb. You know what I mean? So all I'm trying to say is you got to be careful with, if you think you're going to get a 3rd or 4th rounder for Stidham, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I'm only thinking that you might be able to capitalize in the draft when a team has missed out on options.
And add him in for a 3rd or 4th rounder.
Well, you're going to add him in. You're going to get a guy in. What my projection is you're either going to get a team that is slightly too good to make it into the top 5 for next year, or you're going to get a team that has a really bad backup and was not able to draft one of the younger guys that they thought they might be able to get in, like, say, the 2nd round or 3rd round even.
You know what team that reminds me of right now, because he's holding them hostage again, are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have a quarterback right now, except for Aaron Rodgers is just doing his thing.
Real quick, can you put that up from Robert Jansen? Nav stealing my comment. Can you put that up there real quick? It's where it is. Okay. Hey, look, I'm not stealing your comment. I'm adding to your comment because I agree with you 100%. When you put it up there, I'm like, hey, wait, you can't compare these two dudes. AOC is still a rookie contract guy. But the thing about it is, AOC, when he goes in the game, he doesn't lose it for you. Stidham tends to lose ball games for you when he goes in the game. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
I'm still.
Is AOC going to go win a ball game for you? Probably not. But Stidham tends to lose ball games for you. That's all that's the end all be all. So, and when you put the comparisons together, it's kind of like, I kind of like a dude on a rookie contract can win a ball game for you, or at least not lose it for you if your starting quarterback goes out. So that's kind of
Sure.
what
I mean, fair point.
Right?
Fair point. There's going to be a lot of teams, though, that are going to be seeking to at least have someone competent. And there was a time, at least not that long ago, where Stidham was on a trajectory where he was similar to AOC, where you thought that he might be a starter at some point. And I just think that we've seen where things are bridged and worked around Stidham, where he has actually looked incredibly good. And I think he can be quite a competent quarterback when a team kind of moves in his direction. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I really do. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, maybe he's like a fourth with a seventh package with him or something, or a fifth with a future seventh package with him or something. But I do think that he is a legitimate trade option for the Denver Broncos. I also think that Riley Moss is a legitimate trade option for the Broncos as well this year. I think that his issue is going to be, it really comes down to this.
Send him here.
Nav, are you saying that Aiden O'Connell's like a potential trade bait? Because since you guys have what's his name also?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, then Mendoza, and him, but you're always going to keep 3 on your roster. So
you have an emergency guy, and then you need one for like camp and preseason.
But I mean, there's no question it could be possible, because I'm pretty sure you guys in the chat tell me if I'm wrong.
He's still super young, man, too. So I think I can see teams wanting to take a shot on him.
Yeah, this is the last year for AOC on the rookie contract, I do believe. So
getting on to my picks and who I'm looking at, we had a couple Broncos fans in here earlier asking me kind of what my thoughts were in terms of my picks, who I have, all that sort of thing. Long and the short of it is, I think that the Broncos might try to move up in the second to go after McDonald if at all possible. If not, and we stick where we are, and this is what I've drafted, is if we're sticking at our current pick right now, I have Caleb Proctor as an interior defensive lineman going to my team. There was a bunch of different options that I had there. I had a couple tight ends I liked. I had a couple running backs I liked. I had an interior defensive lineman I liked. And there's a couple linebackers there that actually were quite good as well. My problem that I have is I just believe that the Broncos linebacker room and the way that we have rejigged it with the guys that we have on the roster, we are moving Sanders to outside linebacker again, the guy that's basically constantly hurt, which is basically our way of saying you're likely not going to make the team. And then, we're just, trying to be kind. And then we also have Jonah Ellis, who basically played this hybrid role from the outside backer position for us. And they're saying that they are going to be moving him into the inside linebacker spot periodically for snaps, because he's a freak athlete and he can also rush the passer. So he's a great option at the inside backer position for us. He's already proven to play those types of hybrid roles better for us. And so I ultimately just said I think I can get the next 2 positional value pieces that the Broncos really need on the roster, like critically, actually. I think we could get some great value in round 4 for both of those positions. And both guys that I really liked actually fell to the 4th in where I wanted them. And it just made too much sense for me not to move in that direction. George Paton and the Broncos have also proven to target value at their picks, especially in the second round, and willing to take a little bit of a risk for a guy that has a higher upside. So Proctor has a little bit of polish required in order to really get to the status he needs to go. Well, guess who else had a little polish required? Same pick position. Nick Benito. He was picked literally right around the same pick, plus or minus a pick. So again, the Broncos have shown that that's the type of thing they're willing to take in that kind of second round sweet spot there, which is a ton of upside and coach him up.
Richie, I think you're also kind of excited like I am, especially with your team's track record, that when the draft's all said and done, what UDFAs is your team pick up? That will probably be like, those will be guys that you're going to be, all right, man, because I know one of you is making the freaking 53 or something, you know what I mean? Because with your guys' track record.
We have a track record of basically picking up. Like, I think the Broncos, I would put our UDFA record of picking up guys against any other NFL team in terms of success.
No.
The Chargers with Telesco, they had a good run with UDFA guys, but not like immediate starters.
Nowhere close to what the Broncos have been doing over the last 7-8 years. Just stupid. Just dumb.
Dude, Chris Harris Jr. was a UDFA for my Denver Broncos.
Right.
Okay. Going back into that regime all the way to where we are right now.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like all pro, like upper echelon dudes in terms of trajectory. Like I'm sorry, it's stupid. Like it's almost unfair. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's almost unfair.
Right.
Like Jaquan McMillan was a UDFA. He's literally in like the top 2 or 3 nickel corners in the league.
Hey, I'm gonna throw a linebacker name out there.
It's not better than Derwin. Derwin's essentially a nickel corner right now.
I don't know exactly where he's gonna go as a linebacker, but that dude Jacob Rodriguez is gonna be a freaking
game. First rounder or right at the second round?
I think he'll be middle second. Is what I think. But Jacob Rodriguez is gonna be a game wrecker.
Yep.
That dude is.
Do you know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Luke Kuechly.
Yes, that's exactly what he reminds me of. Yeah, my wife goes.
Yeah, he reminds me of Kuechly.
That dude runs around like Luke Kuechly, and she's a Panther fan, so obviously she knows.
Yeah,
I mean, outside of Sonny Styles, who's a top 5 pick or whatever, but yeah, Jacob Rodriguez looks to be.
Yeah.
I mean, and for crying out loud, his old lady flies freaking Black Hawk helicopters, man.
Oh, Rodriguez does?
Yes.
Yeah. His old lady's a freaking officer and flies helicopters in the Army.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
Helo pilot.
Yeah, helo pilot, dude. Combat pilot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So for my Broncos, there's a couple options. I ultimately went with what I believe is a combination of typical Broncos pick, upside, athleticism, coachability, coming into a good defensive line already, has the opportunity to ebb and flow and grow and do better as the season goes on, that sort of thing. So I ended up going with Caleb Proctor. If we trade up and get McDonald, I think he'd be another great pick for the Broncos and would fit in a similar mold in terms of that kind of growth trajectory and whatnot. But again, my pick is I think we're going to want to try to go back to like the Derek Wolfe style pick and go for that like interior defensive lineman in order to allow us to backfill the JFM loss.
Right.
And, you got to remember these guys at the interior defensive line, even a halfway decent guy, they're making like 12 mil a year.
Yeah.
Like they're making 10, 12 mil a year. And so you really want to get a guy in his rookie deal in that position just because there is tremendous positional value picking up a guy in the draft.
Yeah, he fits your mold, Richie, because
he does.
That I'm looking at him 6'2", 290. Like, you guys have these kind of these lighter weight D tackle dudes.
Lighter weight guys, play above their weight, twitchy, fast, get to the passer, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. He kind of fits that kind of.
You guys could also be going after that one of my favorites, the kid from Navy, too, maybe potentially late in this draft.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he could be later or UDFA for us. He's a guy I have potentially as a UDFA flyer, but
And that's the big thing. That's the big thing with the Broncos that I was seeing last year was you guys missed a lot of tackles, bro. I mean, tackling's got to be like a priority.
Yep.
For you guys.
So the one thing to keep in mind as well, and this is just for the just for the non-Broncos fans out there. We have Corinne Reed and Jordan Hunter as our inside backers that we brought in as UDFAs. Yes, 2 more. They are like Jordan Hunter was on the field for a good portion at the end of last season for my Denver Broncos and did quite well. Corinne Reed had a little bit of a tweaking injury that kind of kept him off the field, but when he was on the field, once he kind of got over that, he was amazing as well. And so a lot of Broncos fans are kind of not remembering those other guys that we already have on the roster at the inside backer position. And Nav, to your point, those guys were so new because they were coming into the speed of the NFL where they're trying to allow that game speed to slow down so they can kind of get themselves in the right angles to make those tackles. Give them now into their second year, and I think at least one of them is going to pop in terms of like being that next guy in the inside backer position for the Denver Broncos. And to your point, Broncos didn't even need to spend draft capital. We just picked him up as a UDFA and brought him into the roster, and he made the 53. So it's one of those things where I truly believe that the Broncos are going to find their inside backer talent within those 2 guys, right, plus Singleton, plus Strnad, and maybe we bring in a flyer, another guy as a UDFA that might make the roster as well. Right. So that's my gut reaction. And now I could be dead wrong, and we go ahead and draft Rodriguez and trade up, and the Broncos just say, Rich, hold my beer. Here's what we're doing. But right, I think we're going to move in that direction. That's just my gut reaction.
Kenna brought up a good question there.
Big Citrus.
Yeah, I have a response to that.
I got him going to the Raiders.
I do too. I do too, actually.
Yeah. Third round, possibly, with pick 67, or you guys trading up to grab him in the third, moving up higher.
So let's just say the Raiders decide we're going to give away 36, and we're gonna go and get more picks a little later, right? We're going to get a bunch more.
Yeah.
That's where that would be. That's where that would happen. Because
I don't mind Big Citrus. I'll answer the question. I don't mind Big Citrus. He was also there at my second round pick, by the way.
Yeah, but he's just a big nose tackle, Rich.
So I was actually torn far more than you think I may have been, because that's the guy or the style of guy I think we might actually need, because he's a guy that'll act as like a younger DJ Jones. He's a guy that'll be able to potentially backfill for Wazirike because Wazirike's on the end. But I think the Broncos need the faster twitch pass rush guy in the interior.
Bingo.
And ultimately,
sure,
it's just a different style because that's the way our defense plays, and therefore, as a result, I had to go Caleb Proctor. He's the guy that made sense on the interior of the defensive line for that particular position. He's also got that great leverage height and weight combination. He's like almost 300 pounds, but can move real quick for his weight. But he's 6'2", which actually gives him quite a bit of leverage on the offensive linemen that are 6'4", 6'5", which I think is a great thing as well. So
I just did a fun mock with your team real quick.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm looking at D tackles, right? Because that's like a big need. D tackle, linebacker, linebacker. I'm still confused by, but whatever. And the first guy that pops up, and I'm like, I don't see the Broncos drafting him, is Caleb Banks. And I'm like, he would be an outlier, but I mean, if they could make that work.
I liked him too. He was another guy.
He just got the green light. I think he got the green light with his foot that he'll be ready for June activities.
Yeah, so I liked him as well. My issue with Banks was the Broncos have had good luck keeping guys healthy, even those guys that were hurt in college.
Right.
But the thing is, I'm not sure the Broncos can risk a guy like that getting hurt, given where we're at.
He's had 3 foot surgeries, I think, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
and the Broncos had a guy named Jake Butt who was nothing but butt hurt the entire time he was on the team.
I remember Jake Butt.
And he was drafted pretty high. He had a lot of upside. He just couldn't stay on the field, and I'm afraid that Banks might turn into one of those dudes that's like really good, but is hurt every season for like 2 or 3 games with some random thing.
Would you guys, Richie,
so
real quick,
that's
would
my-
you
that's my
guys like? Because I'm just looking at this mock, right? Like, who knows? This is probably not real, but would you guys be interested in an edge, even though how you guys view your edges already? Because Cassius Howard.
That'd be a tough one. The problem is, okay, so here's our edge room, right? Like, here's our edge room.
Go ahead, yeah.
We got Nick Benito. You have
Mhm,
Jonathan Cooper,
right.
Jonah Ellis, DeAndre Tillman. By the way, out of those 4, only one of them was not in double digits in terms of sacks.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
that's the thing. Like,
yeah, I know. So, like, look, yeah, Cassius Howell, like, yeah, it's like he's not a need. He could take over, but then I'm looking at this, just a few players, and Eli Stowers is right there, and I'm like, oh my god, that would be like, I'm looking at this, like, outside of Caleb Banks, there's really no D tackles I'd want you guys to grab. Like, if I'm the Broncos GM, and there's some other good players. There's running backs and there's offensive guards and stuff. But I'm like thinking about the Broncos. Eli Stowers, like, that would be my guy for you guys right there. But,
so, that brings me to my 4th round picks that I have for my Denver Broncos. We have 2 within a couple picks of each other, 108 and 111, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure that's correct. With our first 4th rounder, I pick Sam Roush, tight end from Stanford.
dude, yeah.
Okay. Now,
he's a sleeper. Not a lot of people are talking about him.
He is 6'5", 260 pounds, and he does everything.
Yep.
And I mean everything.
Come on, Sam Roush.
He's a great pass catcher. He's a great blocker. And you never know what he's going to do when he's on the field. He could do the blocking thing and block in line and just pound dudes up and get them out of the way for the run game. Or he can kind of do a little quick breakup of the seam and kind of pass catch and that sort of thing. The Broncos need a dude like him so badly, it's not even funny. He is literally the Adam Troutman replacement, and then Adam Troutman will be the backup.
You see his combine comps?
Yes.
Bretton Strange, Bellinger, Kraft,
Colston
Charlie
Loveland,
Warner.
Loveland has been the guy I think he's been comped against in terms
he's got some really good comps. Yeah, this is a dude that will definitely be probably your like a rotational depth guy at first, but could break out onto the scene and be very valuable.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with Bourbon there.
What's that? Falcons have talked about trading Pitts. I can see.
All right. So, Bourbon, here's the only way I do that if I'm the Broncos.
Didn't they just re-sign him?
In order to no, they didn't. They tagged him, right? So a lot of times it's tag and trade, right? So tag and trade. There's a reason why that's kind of a yeah.
Let me check it out.
Now, Bourbon, here's the deal. Only way I do that if I'm the Broncos is to reduce the amount of capital I need to give up to get him potentially. Is Ingram needs to be part of that trade package going back to the Falcons in order to severely reduce the trade capital that I'd have to give up to get him.
Has been rumored. Wow, there's a lot of stories like as of today or 2 days ago.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a ton of linkage between Pitts and the Broncos, and Aqib Talib has made a prediction and basically touted that the Broncos are definitely making a big trade move, and it's coming up. And so he was right, by the way. He got the Waddle pick where he kind of hinted at it, and then it happened the next day when he made the comment. So there's a lot of people that are thinking that Talib
what would the Broncos
either...
trade to get Pitts? Would they trade their second and fourth?
They would have
They would have to trade your second.
It'd be the second. It'd have to be the second.
It would
Yeah.
be more than one pick, you would think, or no? Maybe just a second, I guess.
Second and a player, probably.
Well,
I would give it like you'd have to give him like the second in Ingram. You know what I mean? And get rid
Yeah.
of Ingram, trade the
Yeah.
second, bring in
That's a
Pitts, and you'd have to do
no-brainer.
it
That's
that
a
way.
no-brainer.
Yeah,
Get rid of
you'd have to do
Ingram.
it that way. But then my only problem with that is that Pitts has been an average blocker, and the Broncos really need another kind of like, I don't know what you're going to do with him
Well-
on the field
Well,
tight
he
end.
hasn't been asked to be a blocker.
This
with the
is true.
Falcons, though.
Yeah, this is true.
So
It's just not
He
his
is
MO,
big.
though, guys. Like,
He
he's
is a
a
big-
weapon.
he is a big dude, and he can block.
I think I got
But
him
if he's
right
been asked to be a wide receiver the entire time, then he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Right.
So either way, in looking at the draft in its purest form right now,
That would be great for you, though.
yeah, I have Sam
that
Roush, tight end, Stanford, coming to my team in the 4th round with our
here. 6'6", 250.
first pick there in the 4th. Now, 2 or 3 picks later, I have Katron Allen, running back out of Penn, coming to my Denver Broncos at 5'11", approximately 220 pounds.
And oh, by the way, he has 3.5 yards after contact on an average.
What round are
Yeah.
you trying to get him in, Richie?
4th.
Okay.
That's where he's projected 4th or 5th.
Dude, his comp is Cam Scatterboo. Wow.
3.5 yards after contact.
Yeah, dude.
Katron is exactly what my team needs. He's a Sean Payton kind of dude. He's that guy that does running, catching, blocking, kind of does it all. Blocking needs a little bit of work, but most running backs that come out of college need that kind of
Yeah.
polish anyway.
It's not their MO there, man.
And he is a great guy, in my opinion, to pair with J.K. Dobbins. And then you get J.K., Katron, R.J. Harvey, and then you have your 3-man running back room and those guys there.
He's also comp to Cadillac Williams.
Yeah.
Thought that was
Yep.
kind of interesting. That
Yeah.
guy was
So
fun.
that's my Broncos 4th round, is those 2 guys. And I think that addresses 2 major needs for my team. I think you get younger at both of those positions. You get a guy that can come in and hopefully learn from JK while JK's on the field and kind of pick up on those nuances on how to transition very well. There's no, like, JK is a top 3 to 5 running back when he is healthy, period. So learn from that guy, watch what he does, and then hopefully you can then stay healthier and then have a successful career as a result of learning from someone that absolutely knows, how to do it right properly at the NFL level. JK's issue is not knowing how to play the game. JK's issue is always getting hurt, right? Like, it's just that simple. So I thought that would be a great option, actually, for my Denver Broncos to kind of pair everyone together and almost go a little bit of the Chargers route, what you guys did a little bit last year or tried to do with your running back room, and get 2 guys that are similar to, slide one in and out and that kind of stuff, and not have a noticeable
Which version?
difference.
Was that Gus and JK, or was that
No.
last-
Well, Gus
last
and
year's?
Gus and JK were meant to be something similar, and then you tried to repeat that same effort last season with you lost JK, but you then end up bringing in the Steelers guy Najee Harris, and then drafted
Najee.
Hampton. Now, so you got Najee and Hampton, which are very similarly sized guys,
He
right?
made it. So Najee wants to stay on. I wonder if he signs with the Raiders when the smoke clears after like June.
Yeah. So, anyways, those are my 2 4th-round picks for my Denver Broncos, and I believe that addresses 2 major needs for my team: a capable running back who can pass catch and run the ball properly up the middle, tackles, bigger guy, etc., and a tight end, which my team desperately needs an upgrade at that position. If we're going to ever have a true chance at a
Tight
run
end
at
is
the Super Bowl.
tight ends
Yeah.
on the rise.
Yeah.
They are becoming, like, these last couple of years. Everybody's seeing what the Rams have used, how they've used the tight ends. It's 2 tight ends on the field at all times.
Yeah.
Yep. it's going to be that's another thing.
now-
is my team as well.
Yeah. And now this is my ideal draft. I kind of like where my team sits with a lot of other position groups, and I'm willing to lay some credit into my draft, our scouts, and our undrafted free agents that we bring in to look at some of the other position groups. So, just as an example, a lot of Broncos country is wanting us to look at inside linebacker. A lot of Broncos country is wanting us to look at some backup and depth at the safety position just because we're a little light in those position groups. I'm willing to push back to the UDFAs and start signing priority guys and use the fact that we're light in those position groups or have potential at those position groups to go get the best UDFAs available and sign them on as priority UDFAs and either ensure they're kept on the practice squad or even make the 53-man roster as a result of the priority signing. So that's my thought process on those two position groups. Now, where I'm going here in the 5th for my Denver Broncos is, DZ, what was one thing that you kept on saying over the course of last year's show with your team when you had all of those injuries?
I said a lot of crazy shit.
Man, Rich, I wish I had a whole bunch of swing tackles on my team that could step in and play because my 2 starting tackles are broken and I don't really have depth at that position group.
Yeah, we still don't.
And then my response back was, I got a couple spares that are kicking on my roster right now that are pretty solid, actually.
Yeah.
And then you basically flipped me the bird and smiled about it, which is fine. I totally get it. But nonetheless, the point is that I believe there's a tremendous amount of value in developing tackles, especially big-bodied, able guys like Palcho. Okay. Palcho, who was signed for an extension this offseason and well-deserved. He's a guy that plays any of the guard positions and is a absolute starting caliber right tackle at the NFL level. And he's literally a plug-and-play guard at the NFL to start. There was almost zero drop-off, by the way, when he stepped in for Ben Powers, like almost zero. So that says a lot. As a result of Palcho getting re-signed and probably filling in that interior and us probably not looking at the outside guard or looking at the outside tackle position for him, it's time that the Broncos look now at a new swing tackle that we can develop because we will likely inevitably need to lose Frank Crum, who is the big Viking-looking guy at some point. And we're going to need to make some tough decisions in terms of our roster, including McGlinchey and some other tough choices at the end of this season. With that in mind, I have my Denver Broncos drafting Travis Burke, offensive tackle, in the 5th round of this year's draft. Travis Burke is 6'9", 315 pounds. He absolutely fits what my Denver Broncos like at our tackle positions.
Dude,
That's what everybody likes at their tackle positions.
This guy's 6'8", almost 6'9".
Yes.
What everybody likes at the tackle position.
This dude's massive.
Why? I mean, everybody likes that.
You know what his downside is, but you just said he's going to be a developmental guy. He drew a lot of penalties, 12 penalties on the year.
He's like snatching people up.
Yes. So we're picking him up in the 5th. The offensive tackle position is a value position in the NFL. If you get a guy in the 5th that you believe has the upside and the ability to be leveled up to get into a swing tackle or a backup, that's perfect.
He's had some visits.
So we had 12 holding penalties, essentially?
Yes.
Wow.
They played 12 games, so we had 1 a game? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why he's probably where he's at in the round. But he's got a combine comp to my boy Joe Alt, which that's not bad.
Nope. So that's what I'm saying.
6'9"? Come on, bro. That's
also
great.
DZ, if you go ahead and look at the details, his strength is the run game.
Oh, I got out. Let me check it out.
His strength is the run game.
Look, you got Diego Pons right after him. Let's see. I mean, dude, he's got the size, power, man.
He's a mauler. He's a
yeah,
mauler.
they say he's got some. They say he's got some really good athleticism as well.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah,
I
man.
love that pick from my Denver Broncos. I think that that's a guy that you could shove over on the left or right side. He's got the athleticism to potentially develop. You got time with the Broncos because you have both tackle positions solidified for the duration of this year. You got a guy that can develop at that position. He can sit behind McGlinchey and learn, and from Garrett Bowles and learn. And you can see if he's better suited on the right or left side for your team. If you want him to fill in for McGlinchey, you can have him work with McGlinchey and work on that reverse footwork to strengthen his right hand and work on that reverse footwork from him coming from the left side to the right side. Either way, I think he's a fantastic option for my team. And I think for this year, you kind of use him as that that secondary option on the big body offensive lineman. You know how the team used Crum for that last year. I think we keep Crum and maybe him on on the sideline. And when you need a run mauler in the game, I think you bring him in and really just start killing
Richie,
people.
do you even have any brothers on your O-line in Denver right now? I think you have all white boys up there. So he would definitely add some flavor to that O-line. Denver.
Yeah.
He would
You
be
are right.
the definition of the black sheep in that room.
You are correct. You are right. I think every single one of the linemen for the Broncos are all Caucasians, including our swing tackle, who is like the whitest looking dude ever
From
with
the
like
mountains of Caucasus.
Yeah, exactly. He's got
Can I
like
answer
the bleach
Anthony
blonde
Estrada's?
hair.
It does matter, Robert. It does matter, dude.
So Anthony Estrada's asking me a question, if you don't mind.
He asked me first. He asked Richie and I first. Pipe down. Just kidding. Rock and roll. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nev.
My bad. It was the one, am I okay with Mendoza? That is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. When you need a quarterback, the dude's won a national championship. IU's never done that. And he's been the catalyst to do that. Right? Never even been close to it. Right? The dude, 6'5", 225 pounds. Built like a tank. When he has to take the game on himself, he does that. 16-0, undefeated. Right? Big Ten champion, Heisman Trophy winner. Yes, I'm okay with that.
He's checking all the boxes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm okay with that. Yes, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
To get back to the Broncos picks here.
Oh, you still have more picks. Damn.
I do. I am going back to the offensive line. And I'm going with my boy that I would love to see on this team. And that is Caden Barnett. Current offensive tackle, projected to be offensive guard in the 6th round for my Denver Broncos. His nickname in college is the Vanilla Gorilla.
Love it.
Which is the best nickname, in my opinion, in the NFL draft. It is the bomb.
Say it. Who is it again? Say it again.
Caden Barnett. He is 6'5", 320 pounds. He is an absolute animal, and he is my best equivalent that I've been able to find to Quinn Miners in a while.
Is he an offensive guard or tackle?
He's projected as he's a tackle in college, but projected to be a guard in the NFL.
Why can't I find him on here? Barnett.
It's Caden Barnett, Barnett.
Dude.
6'5", 320 pounds.
Is he going to be like a UDFA or something? Because I am not seeing him on here.
He is slated to be kind of like 6th, 7th UDFA, kind of in that range.
Which, if he goes to the Broncos, he'll be like
all pro.
Yeah. I don't see him on this, but I'll take your word for it. Maybe
he's an aggressive If you actually look at some of his tape and film, he is a legitimately aggressive.
We're talking about Mendoza's weight.
He's a Wyoming Cowboy guard.
Dude, love guys from the Wyoming. A lot of guys have come there. Isn't that Josh Allen's alma mater?
It might be, yeah.
Dakota? Is it, yeah, Wyoming or North Dakota? One of the two. Dude, so I see like they're talking about Mendoza's weight. Like I don't know why, but they were like comparing him to Herbert. Like they must have very similar sizes. I think they're like very similar size because if he's 236, that's exactly how much Justin probably weighs, or give or take a few pounds. And I want to say Mendoza's like 6'5", 6'6" as well, right?
So I just passed over some links for you there in the private chat there, D-Zed. You can take a look at that while we're getting Nav's comments.
Which one is first or second? I'll look at is this
first
the Wyoming? Let me check it out. Oh yeah, this dude. I love this guy. Love the face. You know what? I just I was like looking at something, and I think one of my guys in one of my chats was talking about him as well, Rich. Like I remember you talked about him a few weeks ago, and then somebody in one of my chats was talking about him because he's got he's with the face paint and such.
There's always one thing you can count on me for, and that is an obscure player or five that are just aggressive. Like that's my style in football. I want like the mauler, aggressive offensive lineman type guys or defensive lineman type.
That's why I want Keelan Rutledge or Vega. Those guys will take somebody's head off and they'll smile while doing it.
So far, my draft has an interior defensive lineman, a complete tight end in Sam Roush, Katron Allen, Travis Burke, offensive tackle, and Caden Barnett, projected offensive guard. I would project Barnett to be a replacement for Ben Powers at the end of this year. So you give him a year to learn, and then you plug and play him, and then you have a pretty beastly offensive line.
1 year old lineman is in their last season, right?
That's Ben Powers. He's in his last year. Okay, and then McGlinchey is also in an out year this year on his contract.
Okay.
At the end of this year, McGlinchey can be walked away from, basically.
I can see that. Like and you guys get snagged like crazy the offensive line wise. They're all over the league right now.
Yeah. And then so now I move on to the 7th round for my Denver Broncos. We have 2 7th round picks. This was an interesting one for me because 7th round for the Broncos has traditionally yielded some pretty decent players, and we typically just draft them because we don't want them to get snagged up as a UDFA by another team. I have with the first 7th round pick of the 2026 NFL draft to my Denver Broncos, I have Eli Heinrich, running back / wide receiver. I believe he's Navy, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. He is a great alternative option that might be able to backfill for like Marvin Mims if he gets hurt, and he could be kind of a gadget guy for us in terms of a size speed combo.
Special teamer
on the team. Yeah, exactly. So he's got a weird spelling of his last name. It's Heidenreich. So it's like Heidenreich, maybe, is the right pronunciation of that.
Would he be under the wide receiver or the running back? I'm looking for him as
I've seen him listed under both. He's a Navy running back and wide receiver. So I've seen him listed under both. I think he's listed under running back.
By the way, something I forgot to tell you, there's quite a few guys that have been mocked to like my team, probably other teams as well, but from Canada, there's like 3 guys, all Canadians. I think what's his name's Canadian. one of the edge guys, is it Falk? I think he might be Canadian, or Mesidor. One of those guys I think is Canadian. But there's like 3 guys, and I was like, wow, okay. A lot of prospects come from north, man.
Canadians are often overrepresented in these sort of sports just because a lot of the dudes grew up playing hockey. And then they got too big to play hockey, so then they ended up going into football. And there's only one path for anyone who's any good at sports in Canada who plays football. You have to go to the States. Like, it's your only option.
Yeah.
And so it is what it is. And my last pick in the 2026 NFL draft, I went maybe a surprise pick, is a wide receiver. I went Malik Benson, wide receiver out of Oregon, with Mr. Irrelevant as a pick.
Yep.
He is a great value pick in the 7th round. I thought he's a guy that has some good options. Maybe he makes a team, maybe he doesn't, maybe he ends up in the practice squad or something along those lines. But he's 6'1", 195. Runs some good routes.
I was about to say 6'1", 200.
Yep.
Runs a 4.37.
Yep.
So.
Yep, he's a great pickup in the 7th round, which is looking like where he's projected to end up, and we have enough guys in the wide receiver room with Waddle and Mims and all these other guys where he could learn from that group at the practice squad or something, and we can kind of go from there. So I think it's gonna be really interesting in terms of the team. Now, the only UDFA that I have slated on my list here for my Denver Broncos is just because I am I have a theme for my Broncos. I want us to make sure we nab at least one dude that fits this mold. I have Rochul Faison, running back, slated as a UDFA coming to my team as a priority free agent at the end of the draft. I believe he is a great pickup for my team. I think he's got the right style of running that we could potentially capitalize on. He's 6'1", 230-ish or so. Maybe a little bit less than that, between 220 and 230. And he has a lot of the same traits, just slightly slower than Katron Allen. So he's, again, in that same kind of general mold in terms of body build, size, etc.
Yep. So Kenna asked me a question there, if you don't mind. So he says, Nav, got a question. When you get a chance, do you feel the Raiders draft a kicker in round 7? It's only Gay is on the roster. Matt Gay, we popped him in there. He goes, I don't trust him at all. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't trust Daniel Carlson at all either. Yeah, for whatever reason, he just started to suck as a kicker.
Which was weird. He's so solid.
But here's the thing. You don't have to. You can get UDFA kickers. You don't have to draft one.
You guys have probably already brought in guys to just try out. They're probably trying out guys, and then they'll probably bring a few guys out in camp and
shit. There's Australian players in the building probably kicking footballs.
Yeah, they got dude. Yeah.
Thing about it is, the last thing we need to worry about is a kicker. Need to score first. If you don't need your kicker to do anything other than kick extra points, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Does anybody have any theories what happened at Carlson? What the hell happened?
I don't know. So that I think so. He had he had a legal issue.
He was so solid, and I was like, dude, he's like the best player for the Raiders, essentially. I mean, it's a joke, but
AJ Cole, that punter, our punter's probably the best punter in the league.
He's definitely top up there, yeah.
So
he's really good.
Yeah, he's very good. So, but I mean, the thing about it is, Carlson just winning this.
Seriously, dude, that's who you look for.
Yeah.
I hate our
Okay.
punter, by the way.
So John
stand him.
Gruden, so you can watch this shit. John Gruden, they go on the field right before a game, and Janikowski shows up, and he reeks of freaking booze. Right before a football game, and Janikowski is like half popped going into the game, and and Gruden is like, okay, kick this 60-yarder. Janikowski freaking says, hold my beer.
Probably swishes it. Just
goes out there and nails it. And Gruden straight up has it on his Barstool thing. Says, this dude absolutely nailed it. So he goes, it wasn't even a question. He could have hit it from like 68 easily. Could have been 70. And then he just looked at Janikowski and goes, hey, you just do you, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy as a kicker.
So I just want to quickly recap the Broncos picks, and then I think we should probably just kind of talk about where we're at, and we can leave it there. So I went interior defensive line, Caleb Proctor, Sam Roush, tight end with the 4th pick from my Denver Broncos, complete tight end. Katron Allen, running back out of Penn, with, again, the last pick number 111 for my Broncos. Then I had Travis Burke, offensive tackle, in the 5th round for the Broncos. Caden Barnett in the 6th round for the Broncos there, who's going to be a long-term starter at guard. And then we had 2 7th-round picks, Eli Heinrich, wide receiver / running back out of Navy, 6 foot and 206 pounds in the 7th. And then Mr. Irrelevant, Malik Benson, wide receiver out of Oregon, 6'1", 195 pounds for my Denver Broncos. I did what I thought was best for the team in terms of addressing running back, wide receiver, future tackle, future guard, current running back, current tight end, and a replacement in the interior defensive line. To me, those were all a combination of needs. And to be quite honest, everything I've looked up on all of these players, a good percentage of these guys could be immediate or very close to immediate contributors for the Denver Broncos, which is a good thing. So curious as to Broncos fans' thoughts on my kind of ideal list of draft picks here. And I am still very much of the opinion that some of the picks and some of the positions that the Broncos kind of fanalists and other media folks are projecting, like safety and inside backer, just to address that directly. Again, just real quick for those that are just viewing now, I believe that the inside backer room will be largely addressed by the progression of maturity in the NFL by guys like Corene Reed and Hunter on the Denver Broncos. And I believe that the Broncos will also be looking to target another UDFA inside linebacker with some upside, even if they've been hurt or injured or whatever, something like that, where they can maybe develop them and bring them up to speed and then have that work. I think that's what the Broncos' approach is going to be there. And I also believe that they're going to be trying to bring in a priority safety in the UDFA space. And the Broncos have traditionally had some pretty awesome, defensive back success from that UDFA spot.
I think fans also should remember that there's another free agency coming up after June 1st. It's like another where the teams start filling out their rosters. A lot of teams will start cutting guys, financial reasons and whatnot. Yep. So it's be another exciting time in the off season.
And just as another piece here, a guy that's been heavily linked to the Broncos is Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
And I could see that happening because I think that he's a Sean Payton guy, and he's a solid dude, still can play. My personal preference, just for what it's worth, is I would rather have Calais Campbell. But again, either of those two dudes would fit well on the Broncos defense, in my opinion.
So we're doing a recap on what we were doing.
Mhm.
So if you don't mind, may I? Because I really need
Go
to
for
go
it.
to bed. I got to get up
Go
early.
for it. Go for it.
Okay, so for the Raiders, we're talking ideal draft. So I'm not even going to say whether they're there or not there. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. So round one, we know Mendoza. We're pretty sure of Mendoza, no question. If Mendoza doesn't go to the Raiders, number one, somebody that put $100 in Vegas that Mendoza doesn't go to the Raiders, number one, is going to make a lot of money. That's just what I'm thinking. So, so we're talking about 36 and beyond for us. So I would say that 36 ideal would be Caden McDonald. And then right after that at 67, Bud Clark. And then I think we take a wide receiver in the end of the third, maybe, because we might be able to trade back into it for Surratt. And then I think offensive lineman going into the fourth would be Blake Miller. And then I think another one of those fourths will be Kaleon Black. And then, to be honest with you, the rest of them I really don't give a shit about, because we have players that are unproven from last year. So the rest of it's all going to be depth. The free safety, Bud Clark's going to be a big one. So I think that's a big one. Whether it's Bud Clark or it's AJ Halsey from LSU, I mean, I don't know. If Halsey falls into the third, probably going to end up with that guy. So AJ Halsey's a freaking stud. So I just don't see him getting out of the second. So
Right.
Now, if Jadarian Price drops into the mid thirds, Jeremiah Love's running mate at Notre Dame, that might be the guy. I'll tell you what, if he's in the mid third, don't be surprised if we snatch him up, because that dude is a freaking absolute truck. And him next to Genty, somebody tell me how you defend that. Bowers, Mayer, Genty, and Jadarian Price. You know what I mean? I don't know how you deal with that.
Mav, do you guys have any vet running backs on the roster right now?
Yeah.
Is it Mostert?
No, Mostert's gone. So we have Craig Hayward's son. I can't remember his name. We signed a while back. We have Dylan Laube.
Yep.
So I mean,
I feel like he didn't get a fair shake, but then he did have.
No, but he's a special teams guy,
right?
For the most part.
I mean, look, Najee Harris is still a possibility. I think he could be a guy that you're gonna have like a room of like 4 or 5 of these, 6 of these guys.
I agree, and if that happens, then all the stuff I just said about the running backs, then it's null and void. But I'll tell you what, this dude Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love gets all the freaking flowers,
right?
But I'm going to tell you what, Jack Kenna, if he's still in here, can tell you that dude is an absolute beast.
Oh, Hayward is a fullback. Okay.
Yeah, Hayward's fullback. Yep.
All right. So it's just so right now it's Genty, Dylan Lobby, and then the fullback. So yeah, you guys are probably going to add maybe 2 to 3 more guys, and then you'll have like 1 on your practice, 2 on your practice squad, and you're going to have probably a room 3 or 4 of these guys on the 53. Well, I got a feeling you're going to add one of those guys has got to be a vet. I feel like maybe.
Last thing Kubiak wanted to do going into that Super Bowl was be a single back set.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The last thing he wanted, but that's because Charbonnet got hurt. So the last thing he wanted was like Kenneth Walker to have to freaking roll hot the entire time, but worked out for him. He didn't want that. He wanted Charbonnet to be a change of pace guy. Kenneth Walker just freaking decided he was going to go off. So, it was one of those.
Yeah, I'm still pissed. I think we all pissed that Kenneth Walker's going to be with the Chiefs. I think he's going to do really well there.
He's going to be okay, but they don't value a running back, though. It's not really a,
Last year, their running game, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the offensive line or what the hell was going on, but their running game was bad last year. But the previous years, it was moving.
I just don't know what they're going to do on the backside of their defense. They just gave up
they're probably they have the picks.
2 of the top 7 cornerbacks in the league.
All of the mocks I've seen for them is they're like low. They're getting like high-end cornerbacks. I don't know, young guys. But yeah, I agree. Like, we don't know, right? They gave up those dudes. Like, what are they doing? Who knows?
No, it was well said where they don't like to pay cornerbacks beyond the rookie contracts.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'll take them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean,
we know the Rams, why they're about F them picks. You know what I mean?
Well, before we got Kirk Cousins on our team, Max Crosby and Colton Miller were the oldest players on the team. You know what I mean? It's like, that's insane.
Another thing I was thinking about for the Raiders is I think you guys are going to try to upgrade your right tackle. I think you guys are going to – I think DJ Glaze is going to go to, like, become backup or something. I don't think they want him as your starter.
I think Grant's going to be our right tackle.
You don't think you draft one?
No, I don't. The thing is, we haven't seen what we drafted last year. So I'm not sure you put a whole lot of stuff in there. I mean, because hell, Jack Bech on the offensive side, we didn't see him much.
Right. Yeah. Barely saw Jack. Barely saw him. So I had him on a couple fantasy teams. And I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. And they're not even using it.
Right.
I would see in Kubiak's offense, that dude was going to be utilized. So that's the thing. So this draft's going to be a little bit weird because it's going to depend on whether like coaching staff in the front office is like, hey, we haven't seen what we already have. So maybe we just get out of some of these freaking picks for next year. So once we hit the 5th round, we just give them all 5th through 7th to someone else for like a 2nd round in 2027. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't even know. I mean, I just know there's been a lot of smart moves made so far. So, and oh, by the way, people were asking, and I looked legally when Henry Ruggs walks out of jail, the Raiders actually own the rights to him still.
Yeah, that's a weird subject, man. People are like, let's get him to play. And I don't know, man. I'm just...
Well, but if he goes to play, I don't know what that means, that they still own his rights. Because the moment he was incarcerated, they still own his rights because he was still on a rookie contract. Now, the Raiders can't bring him back. Our manifesto says you can't. You know what I mean? They can't actually keep him. They can't bring him back because the Al Davis freaking manifesto says you can't. He was involved in a freaking accident that killed someone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if we stay with Al Davis's vision, you can't bring him back.
Yeah.
But for somebody, he's going to be worth something. And if we have the rights to him, that means somebody's going to have to give us something for him. So, and I hate to say it that way, but it's business, right?
So look, this is what I was thinking for you guys' draft, right? Like Mendoza, first pick, he's at home with his family. He's gonna have a big party.
Yep.
And then it's like, do Raider fans even stay tuned into the draft? Because, or do they just say, "All right, click, we'll tune in tomorrow"? Because I'm like, there's still that possibility. And remember, I was like, there's that scenario where I'm like, I could see the Raiders swooping back in and grabbing pick 27 or something in the first round. That's still a possibility, but
that's a Raider. That's a Raider thing from back in the day. I don't see it happening, but I'm not gonna say it ain't.
Right.
Nav, I have a prediction for what's happening in their first round.
Okay.
I actually think that your team is going to send Mark Davis and Tom Brady over to Mendoza's house.
To
his house. Yeah, to Bloomington. And I think
I'm 30 minutes away from there.
Yeah, so I think that Davis and Brady will be with the Mendoza family, and I think that the NFL is going to leverage the Brady name, and then Mark Davis as the owner being present for the pick announcement and being there and the whole bit as the way to get the draft going, as it were. And I think that's my prediction, at least. I think that that's how they're going to compensate for the first round pick not being there. Is I think that they're going to end up with the Tom Brady name being there as part of the Raiders organization.
Did you guys see Mendoza throw out that pitch in Miami?
Yeah,
at the Marlins. So he's in Miami, Florida, at the Marlins game, and it was kind of cool. There was a guy behind home plate with a giant Raiders flag as he was throwing the pitch, and I was like, "Damn, that's
that's pretty cool.
That's signaling something." Freaking Raider Nation's everywhere, man.
And oh, by the way, that dude threw a freaking laser beam.
I didn't even see that. I was looking at the guy with the flag, but I'll take
he threw like a freaking 80-mile-an-hour freaking ball at that fucking catcher, though. That's the crazy part.
What is he like? Is he from Miami? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
because he's Cuban. His Cuban roots or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to school, like high school in Miami.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at with it. I kind of like where my draft went with the Broncos. I think it covers off a lot of future stuff and current stuff. It allows for some future proofing going forward, also allows for some development to take place, and intermix the top 3 picks, which is what you're supposed to do in the draft, right? Is guys that can plug in and play this year. And I think that that's what the Broncos do with the draft that I have there.
I mean, technically, go ahead.
You had some picks for your team that kind of fulfill some similar needs, right? Where you were looking for dudes that can kind of come in and play right now, try to kind of do the both sides of the fence, get guys that can stick with you for a while, but then also start kind of as quickly as possible. I mean,
if you guys aren't aware, with this new regime, especially in the front office with Joe Ortiz, it's Ravens West. And it's like growing pains with the fan base, myself included. Is the Chargers have a lot of money, and people are like, "What did you guys spend it on?" And that's just not their MO. And they kind of doubled down on it with their presser just a week or two ago. And what the Ravens do is kind of remember like when we grew up, it was the Packers did it. It was draft and develop. You know what I mean? And the whole deal is they're not big spenders in free agency, and it's draft and develop. So as fans, we're like, come on, man, like go get him. You got the money, get this guy. And that's just not the thing. But they knew they only had 5 picks going into this draft. And, you want more at bats. And so maybe they're looking at June 1st or maybe trade back but like I said, it takes 2 to tango. Last year, the Chargers actually were in the works to trade back with the Eagles, and Omarion Hampton was kind of a panic pick, but it was a good panic pick because I'm still very high on him, and I think so. Mostly Bolt fans pretty high on him as well. But I think the first pick has got to be an immediate day one starter, man. Like he's got to be boom, ready to rock and roll.
Unless it's a quarterback.
Right. You know unless it's a quarterback for you guys, like, yes, boom, I get that. And then I think then you're going to, you want some rotational depth. Like you need a guy that's going to get on the field and see some snaps and get his feet wet, kind of thing. And I like this regime's drafting. Like they've drafted some really good guys in the mid round, especially in the 5th round a couple years ago. We've got some guys coming back this year that we will see. I don't know if your guys' teams had activities already. Did you guys have where one side of the ball came in for a few days?
No, not yet. No,
so the Chargers had their off-season guys already come in. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday.
Yeah, voluntary.
Yeah,
workouts.
Yeah. So they had some workouts, and it was kind of neat. Like I love these. Some of the fans, they nerd out and they'll zoom in on guys. And one of the guys that there's a lot of questions around is last year's 5th round pick, Kyle Kennard. He's an edge rusher. I mean, he had a really bad redshirt year, man. Didn't even register a pressure when he was coming from South Carolina. He had crazy stats in college, which goes to show, guys, these guys can ball out in college. Come to your team and lay a skunk. Was the reporter of the Broncos Chiefs keep the Chargers from being appointed? I don't know what that means. What? Keep the Chargers from getting a ring and pulling rug out from the Chargers. Okay. Something about never winning a Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't know why that joke's going over my head.
Here's the thing.
I can summarize that super fast.
Right, do it.
He wants the Raiders to pull the role of spoiler for the entire West. There you go. You're done. That's literally what that whole post was.
Right.
Hey, you're welcome.
Is it possible that the Chiefs will be last in the AFC West next year?
Yes. Yes.
Andy is wanting. He's on his way out, but really not. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
I think what the Chiefs' problem is right now is that they don't have a solid quarterback that's guaranteed to be there. Mahomes is going to be coming back from an injury, and there's a likely chance that he's not going to be able to start the year. If he does try to start the year, he's going to rush himself back and runs the risk of getting hurt. And if he gets hurt, he's going to be done for a massive amount of time. And so, yeah,
I think they already came out and said Fields is gonna start a few games or something, and
yeah, but
somebody's they're gonna be 4-0 by the time Mahomes comes out. I'm like, bullshit. Who knows?
That's what I'm
I bet
saying is
the schedulers throw them a softball of a beginning schedule. We'll see. Watch, do something dumb that.
But wait for the softball schedule, and the problem is that without that quarterback play, a lot of their game plan relies on the creative prowess of Mahomes in order to make plays happen. And Andy Reid's offense is literally now been centered around having the it factor guy at the quarterback position.
This is my take on Mahomes, and it's not. This is my take on Mahomes. It's not popular, probably outside of our division. Mahomes hasn't been Mahomes for multiple seasons now.
It's been a minute.
He's been a game manager who knows how to win at the end of the games, which matters, right? Which matters. The Chiefs knew how to win. Last season, boom, it all came crashing down. Team's too old, a lot of injuries. And then he busts his knee, ankle, whatever the hell it was. This
ACL, I think.
But they're like, oh, the best quarterbacks in the league, and it's just all accolades from Mahomes right now because there's other quarterbacks who are outplaying him all last season and never get mentioned.
And that's right. And that's what I was telling Richie. So the draft is tomorrow, but when we come around till next Wednesday, I was telling Richie I think it would be an interesting one where we could talk about each division throughout the entire NFL, who's going to be last in their division.
I mean, it's a fun exercise to come back to, especially when this season all said and done. Yeah. I'll be. You look, dude. I'm gonna have to trust. I know we did this fun exercise today, and it was cool, like our ideal drafts. But I'm gonna have to trust my scouts, like my team scouts and coaching staff for the guys they get like deep in the draft, right? Like, do the drafts. Oh, Ty Simpson, probably not, but. I mean, I don't know if it's Russell Wilson-esque. He's still like the last minute, like in the last quarter, it will come out and they've won some games, but it's definitely not. They're like Mahomes is like he's like top 5, top 3 quarterback. I'm like, no, he has not played like a top 3 quarterback in like a couple seasons now. That that street ball stuff, but that's why they're.
Well, he hasn't even been in the conversation of freaking NFL MVP ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Tomorrow it starts. We're going to see kind of where these predictions and our ideal options and all that land. We're going to see how our teams fare in terms of moving the needle forward. We're going to see where our other division rival that won't show up on the show lands as well. I think it'll be a super interesting draft at the end of it because I do agree with you, Nav, that the underlying comment there is inevitably there's going to be a few teams that low-key either get worse or just stay the same. And the question is, are our teams one of them? What you want from the NFL draft is to progress forward. You want to add talent to move your team in that forward direction to match the vision of where your team wants to go.
Right.
And I agree. Thus far, the Raiders have done a tremendous job in the offseason to, dare I say, make those big boy moves and do the right thing to kind of move the team in the right direction.
Yeah.
I know DZ and I have both made these comments both on screen and in behind the scenes in our private chats. And I know that Nav and
you don't like it.
No, we don't. We hate it. But at the same time, a good Las Vegas Raiders team raises the entire division as well, right? No longer are our teams, if we win, getting told, well, the Raiders are just the Raiders. It's like, no, the Raiders are a good team and you beat them. Good job. Like, that's the point. Or vice versa. You split with the Raiders. That's clearly a tough division. And that's the sort of comments that we want to hear as division rivals.
Nobody's talking about the Raiders like coming out and making some noise. But I've heard them say the Giants, like John Harbaugh's over there, and all of a sudden they're like the Giants are supposed to be this year's New England Patriots. I'm like, wait, well, what about there's some other teams in here that could, turn around and make some noise.
I think Cowboys are going to win that division. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't hate the Cowboys this year.
Yeah. But anyways, I think it'll be an interesting one to see where we land, see how the draft plays out, see where the teams end up. Do some reassessment after. And Nav and DZ, you're correct. We do have that last wave of the backfill free agency or the post-draft free agency. Yep. There are always some surprises.
June 1st is a big day.
There's always some surprises of teams cutting guys on June 1st where you're just like, I didn't kind of see that one coming. and we'll talk about that on the show as well. But that'll end the show for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get Nav off to bed. He's got an early morning tomorrow. So do I.
Can I give one more shout out right quick?
I'm gonna put it on mute if you're doing what you're thinking.
I'm not gonna yell Raiders, I promise. How about this? Raiders. Okay. All right. So I'm in Indiana right now. My wife's back in Tennessee, 5 hours away, right? We're trying to sell that house, trying to buy a new house. Oh, by the way, the house is black and white. You can't get a silver house. Otherwise, I would. It's a brand new build. So, maybe I could. But the thing about it is, what it comes down to, in between this period of time for the Raider fans that are on my channel, it's going to be a while before I bring my show back up. But on Wednesdays, I'm going to do my very best to be here. Okay. And that's why it doesn't look the same, because I don't have a studio. So I just want to let everybody know that life is in flux, new job. I've been working there. I'll be week 2 come Friday. So just so you guys know, I'm not ignoring you. Okay. I'm just busier and shit. Okay.
Might have to have Kenna fill in for you, or what?
What's that?
Kenna might have to fill in for you.
Yeah, Kenna, step the fuck up.
Or one of these cats in here. I don't know if any of these other guys want to fill in.
No, I don't know. I mean, Zong can probably do it, but I'm not sure he could stay away from an F-bomb for 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes. I don't know, man. I think
that's
we're all
an unfortunate scenario.
Well, good luck with your move. I hope we all get what we want in this draft. You know what I mean? Like at least a player or something that we all like. I mean, obviously the Raiders will get their guy.
It should be.
I agree.
It should be good. I should know by the weekend if I can have the mortgage in Tennessee and this mortgage at the same time. We'll see.
If not, you got to pick out some silver and black tents at Walmart. So, there's that.
Nothing else. I just need to short sell my house and be done with it down in Tennessee and just kick my wife out and tell her to come here. Let's go.
Well, guys, that'll do it for the show tonight. As we all hope and pray that Nav sells his home and doesn't have to short sell it. Anyways, guys, we'll go ahead from there and see you next week on the show. It'll be the first show after the draft. By the sounds of it, it may only be me, but we'll see. We'll go from there.
I should be here. I should be here.
Okay, so that'll be the 29th next week.
I'll let Richie know.
So
I think I'll be good there.
Okay, so what'll be right after the draft, we'll get into who we got, our thoughts on it, how they dovetail into the team, all that kind of stuff. Stay tuned, come back, check us out. We'll go right into those details and all that good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still looking for that elusive Kansas City Chiefs fan that will join us on the show and actually show up. Unfortunately, they are an elusive bunch, especially when they're not winning.
They're a rare animal.
But if you happen to know anyone that is a KC Chiefs fan, is interested in coming in and becoming a fanalist on a podcast, we are looking. Go ahead and pass on our info down below. And we got a lot of interesting stuff coming up.
Where are you, Chiefs fans? Where are you?
Yep.
They don't want to play with us.
No.
Yeah. So, anywho, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. Really interested in talking about it with everyone here. We're going to have a bunch of topics. We're going to try and get them out a little bit earlier to the group here. Go ahead and find us over on X at the Wild Wild West podcast. I think it's WWW podcast on X. You can find us there. We do post on there a lot. Let's go ahead and get this show kicked off right and go ahead and like all of the channels that are broadcasting this show. It helps us all out and reach new people just like you who are fans of the NFL and the AFC West. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Fast lane in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Tempo's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute,